YouTuber who's leading the way. Yeah. He's got a passion for all things nerdy. Dungeons and Dragons, his world's not blurry. From comics to movies, he's got it all. He's an outpost nerd living in a geeky world with his lightsaber shining. He's a Star Wars swerve through galaxies and adventures. He'll take you there, take you there. He's an outpost nerd, no one can compare. Nerd power. Yeah, he's the king of nerds, catching that flare.
What's up, all my nerd geeks and dweebs, and welcome to another transmission from the Outpost Nerd. I am the nerd of the Outpost, and I hope everyone is having a good Monday, a good start to the week. I know I am. So I'm going to try to start your streaming every other day. I'm going to try to do just more with the channel. So how's everybody doing? Just want to talk about some things. Been watching some Stargate over the weekend when not doing yard work. I love Stargate. Stargate is one of my favorite. Yes, John. Thank you, John. John, always with the support. Appreciate it, man. Stargate's always been one of my favorite shows, sci-fi shows specifically. I loved it. I watched it. I think it was every Tuesday or Wednesday night. Sci-Fi Channel would have a block about 2 or 3 hours of shows, and Stargate SG-1 was one of them. And I mean, it's such a good show. So I was flipping around to my usual websites, and I found something. I found some. I was reading Bounding into Comics. Let me share it. From the director of upcoming Deadpool Wolverine, Sean Levy. Sean Levy rejects the idea of cinematic superhero fatigue. People are way too quick to declare the last rites of the superhero genre. I kind of agree with him to a certain point. I think the golden era of superhero movies ended, and I've said this before, ended with Endgame. Ironically, the name fits. These superhero movies are not the huge cash cow money makers they are. They take their budget is so inflated that there's no possible way that these movies can make any of their money back or a decent box office. Let me share this one. We'll go back to that in a minute. Let's see. No way it makes profit with that kind of budget. This is from IMDb. Even Harrison Ford's Red Hulk can't save Captain America 4 as Disney reportedly spends Avengers-level money on the movie. This is ridiculous. See, the film's budget is a reportedly $350 to $375 million. The inflated budget comes after extensive reshoots that were ordered after the film received terrible scores during test screening. Let's see. Let's go to the actual lists. This is Fandom Wire. This is the actual article. It was. See, that's not Captain America. It should have been Bucky. In the film titled Brave New World, Wilson looks to become a worthy successor of Steve Rogers, donning the Captain America mantle. Besides Ford and Mackie, the film will also star Liv Tyler. I was just talking about the other day that Liv Tyler needs to come back into the MCU. I hope she pays Betty. Shira Hasno, who that is. Timberlake Nelson, no idea. Carl Lumley, that name sounds familiar. Danny Ramirez, no idea. So, well, the director Julius Ona made a name for himself with critically acclaimed films like The Cloverfield Paradox and Loose. Never seen Loose. Cloverfield Paradox, I liked that one. So we're getting a director with experience. It was Captain America was either earlier delayed to February 2025 due to extensive reshoots. So that's the problem with modern superhero movies and modern sci-fi in general. It's just the budgets are so bloated. How are they supposed to make any money doing doing these movies? It's ridiculous. Getting back to Deadpool. Let me do some. Yeah. Okay. Let's see what Sean's got to say about the superhero genre. In adding his voice to ongoing discourse, Deadpool and Wolverine director Sean Levy has dismissed the idea that general movie-going audience are currently suffering from superhero fatigue. Well, people don't go to the theaters like they used to. I heard Matt Damon talk about how movies used to have two options to make money: in the movie theaters and then in home box office. Well, with the advent of streaming services, you're cutting that opportunity in half by taking away theaters. I worked at a movie theater one summer. It was the summer of Deadpool 2. And the theaters would be a quarter full, not even that. Maybe sometimes we'd have maybe half a dozen people. There were many times where I'd go in, clock in, and the manager said, "Hey, we're not having enough seats full. I can't afford to pay you today." So they'd send me home, and I had to step away from that job because I couldn't afford to go all the way into town, just turn around and be sent home without pay that day. You know, the seeming last hope to save the MCU from complete failure offered his take on the superheroes' genre's current struggles while speaking with Entertainment Weekly's Nick Romano in promotion for the upcoming crossover film. And honestly, I'm looking forward to Deadpool, Wolverine and Deadpool. Really looking forward to it. Rather than delve straight into the topic, Levy began his thoughts by discussing the overall concept behind Deadpool and Wolverine, explaining, with the character of Wade, especially in the combination with the character of Logan, I saw that story beyond the franchise value. You have Wade Wilson, who is like an impetuous motor-mouthed child in a superheroic man's body, and then you have laconic, largely non-verbal verbal, gruff Logan. On the surface, they're completely different, which is what makes them the perfect comedic duo. They are both haunted by regret, the director added, and there's a darkness and sadness and ultimately a solitude to both these heroes that make them anti heroes. Huh. From there, Levy dived into the film's myriad of cameos, explaining that while fans may be wary of such Easter eggs given their overuse in recent years, the Deadpool and Wolverine team didn't want any of the cameos or characters to be the story of the movie. But they are peppered in throughout, he detailed. There's a lot of characters. The internet is such a delight of rumors about the multitude of character cameos that are in the movie. Some rumors are true, some are way off base. Continuing, Levy noted, Wade himself is a fan. Without giving anything away about the various universes the different characters live in, because he is in some ways a fawning, motor-mouthed little fanboy himself. And allows the movies to call out a reference a ton of deep-cut Marvel references. He goes on to, when asked about the concept of superhero fatigue, Marvel had some misses, he ultimately admitted, but people are way too quick to declare the last rites of the superhero genre. I don't buy into that fatigue narrative. As noted above, Levy is far from the first superhero creative to weigh in on the widely postulated theory of the genre box office decline. It's not a theory. You can look at if you look at a timeline of these. I wish I could find this, or I wish I was smart enough to make this kind of thing. If you looked at a timeline of the movies since the Avengers, I think he would find a yes, I think you would find a steady decline of what's the word I'm looking for? The money might be higher, but compared the box office ratios compared to the phase maybe one or two or three, and these new, like the most recent phases of Marvel, the ratios would be lower comparing box office gross to budget. I think the more expensive these movies have gotten, they're not making their money back, and that's what they've been trying to do since the recent phases. And I think that's what, and it's not, and why would the most popular movie in recent recent year, maybe how was it? I argue the most recent movie non-Marvel most popular movie in the past couple of years, maybe Top Gun Maverick. And yes, that was another nostalgia bone that was thrown out to the public. The same way recently with Axel F. We're not. They just don't see that the ratio is not the same as what it used to be. Meanwhile, as superhero, as not leave. Look, where was I? As far as superhero supporters go, both DC Studios co-head James Gunn and former DC EU architect Jack Snyder believed that at current audience had become exhausted with superhero films altogether. Meanwhile, opponents of the series such as Spider-Man, Cross the Spider-Verse co-writer Christopher Miller, and Arrowverse creator Mark Guggenheim. Okay, why is he being the Arrowverse is done with? People got tired of that because you started doing stupid shit. You started being fucking woke with Supergirl, with it being stupid shit with like Legends of Tomorrow. That's why the Arrowverse is gone. Why is he even in this conversation? They believe that rather than some sort of general exhaustion, the genre is stumbling due to the respective quality feelings of each individual project. Exactly. Okay, that's the point. Okay, maybe it's not just it's the quantity, not the quality. Remember when Phase 1 started, we'd get maybe what a Marvel movie every 1 or 2 years. And it was something to look forward to. This is the same thing with Star Wars, and I think coming to a point with Star Trek, it's just we're getting so much. We're getting quantity over quality, and I think that's part of the problem. At current, Deadpool and Wolverine is gearing to slash its way to theaters on July 26th. I cannot wait. And I think if the with all these shows and movies, cartoons, we're just every year at least maybe half a dozen new stuff that's just the bottom of the barrel. You've used up your A-list team with the Avengers, and now you're onto the D-list with like no one knew who the Eternals were before that crappy movie came out. And the fact the Eternals were in the comics they're the people of, if I'm not mistaken, of Thanos. Thanos is like in the comics a mutated Eternal who was so obsessed with death he killed his entire race. If I'm not mistaken, I may be wrong. I haven't read those comics for a long time. I need to go back. That'd be fun. Um, it's just I think we're tired. They're wanting to bring in these big names with like Harrison Ford and Liv Tyler, and I don't think it's gonna work. But I hope I'm wrong. Let me see something. Let's see. Yep, Liv Tyler's coming back as Betty Ross. About fucking time. It only took him, what, 20 years? Yeah, almost 17 years. I mean, we're getting the same shit over and over and over again. And the public, they're just willing to take it. You know. So getting off of comics, I found something out. Something came across my Facebook that broke my little 90s kid's heart. Anyone who grew up in the 80s and 90s knew McGruff the crime dog. And I still remember the jingle that had the address that you would mail in and get your McGruff stuff. Scruff. It was McGruff. Scruff, McGruff, Chicago, Illinois, 60652. It was a little jingle they did. And this broke my heart. Joe Morales, the actor who voiced McGruff the crime dog, has been in jail for a decade. His legal troubles began in 2011 when police discovered 1,000 marijuana plants, 27 weapons, including including a grenade launcher and 9,000 rounds of ammunition at his residence. The actor was sentenced to 16 years behind bars after pleading guilty to the charges. U.S. judge described Morales as scary. Although Morales maintained that he was nonviolent during the hearings, U.S. District Judge Vanessa Gilmore expressed concern, stating, "Everything I read about you makes you seem like a scary person." This suggests that the severity of the charges and the items found during the arrest contributed to the judge's perception of Morales. McGruff has been around for 42 years. I grew up with this. I remember like the Dare program and McGruff the Crime Dog, the guy dressed in the suit coming to my school as a kid. I mean, if you grew up in the 80s and 90s, this was the guy. This guy was like, hey, he was like our Smokey Bear when it came to crime. He's an animated bloodhound created by advertising agent Stachi and Stachi for the National Crime Prevention Council. He was introduced in 1980 in a series of public service announcements that educated citizens about personal safety to reduce crime. Yeah, that worked out, didn't it? The dog's name was selected as part of a nationwide contest in July 1980. Let's see. I don't want to. He hates telemarketers. This includes creating neighborhoods where people look out for each other and kids feel safe. McGruff the Crime Dog has also made thousands of appearances at community and school events. That's what I was talking about. He came to mind. Over time, his message has changed more to more broadly based crime concerns, including bullying, cyberbullying, online safety, telemarketing crime against seniors, identity theft, and safe firearm storage. Police departments use McGruff. McGruff the Crime Dog costumes are used by police during outreach efforts involving children. There currently are thousands of McGruffs on duty, number of costumes in use. To get around the character has a Corvette, a Corvette, a truck in Arizona, and a Weeder wagon in Florida. Of course, we get the crazy one. But he usually prefers to ride in patrol cars, assisting law enforcement. Jim Morales played McGruff the Crime Dog in the late 90s. The actor has about 6 years left of jail time left. Wow, that is crazy. Yeah, I mean, all the thousands of pounds of marijuana plants, 27 weapons, including a grenade launcher, and 90,000 rounds of ammunition to his residence. That is crazy. No. I hate that for him. But, you get what you get. I got a text coming in. So, I've just been, trying to figure out stuff to do, hanging out, um, I'm looking forward to really. I'm looking forward to seeing Deadpool and Wolverine. I think I'm glad Hugh Jackman came back as Wolverine because he said, I think if I remember right, he said after Logan he was done with the character because he was getting up in age and it was getting too hard to get like buffed out for the character. But it might be a hit, but one hit I don't think can save a genre like the superhero genre and how it's struggling. I'm tired of this stuff like we're getting with this Star Wars with Acolyte and being blamed because the audience being blamed for a shitty product. No, that's like I don't know. That's just crazy to me. We have stuff like the Acolyte showrunner Leslie Headland defends series portrayal of the Jedi. Says it may feel like I'm criticizing the Jedi as they exist in George Lucas's Orvu, but that's not the case. Bullshit. That's not the case. According to the Acolyte showrunner Leslie Headland, the series' less than shining portrayal of the Jedi is not aiming to criticize George Lucas's original take on the collective group of light side adherents, rather to give audiences to look at their existence from a different point of view. Headland offered the defense of Star Wars series' morally gray narrative while speaking to Collider's Maggie Levitt following the premiere of the 6 episodes Teach and Corrupt. I haven't gotten around to watch that because I'm just having such a hard time stomaching this damn show. In light of the episode's heavy focuses on Kumir's anti-Jedi philosophies, the Jedi teach there's only one way to access the Force, and if you don't do it their way, it fades. Let's see. Comparing these Jedi to the Jedi in the prequels is a little difficult because it's 100-year-ish before those films. It's a century. It may be a century, but you still have key figures in the order that we have in the prequels. Yoda is still the Grand Master at this point. He's been the Grand Master for about 700 years at this point. And that's what a lot of people aren't understanding. I'm tired of this retconning, and I'm tired of this political agenda pushed in this shit. So hopefully, I really do hope that these studios realize we need to take a break from these franchises. We need some original properties that could really that should be allowed to grow. These studios, they stifle, they just bury these original properties in favor of these franchises that are failing. If it's not Star Wars, Star Trek, many sci-fi watchers don't care about it. And, I find it sad because there's a lot of great stories out there that need to have a spotlight shown on them, given their chance. Creators need to be given a chance to create, not contribute. And what I mean by that, creators need to create their own things, their own original ideas, and not be forced to contribute to these franchises. I like that. Create, not contribute. I like that. So, I got an appointment in a little while, so I'm going to jump off and get ready for that. Thank you for all who listen. I appreciate it. I hope everyone has a good week. I will see you on the next transmission. And remember, like I always say, find your passion and nerd out about it. I'm the nerd at the outpost, and I'm gone.
Lost in space, I found my police. In this outpost of solitude, my way. Binary code run through my veins. Every beat and beat, I feel no pain. Signing off, it's time to go. Goodbye, my nerdy friends, see you later. I know through the stars we've shared this ride, but now it's time to say goodbye, farewell.